So my sleep paralysis demon has returned. We ran him off the internet. And I do credit the Blaire White Army, because as much as there's so many people that talk about Lilly Tino, it was really like the day after I did my main channel video exposing that he was talking to kids that suddenly he wanted to boohoo and go off the internet.
Shelbert's mom is listening.
Now, I am talking entirely about groceries, fresh, but you like, bananas, mangoes, grapes, vitamin C. Jesse likes watermelons, 2 of them, of course. Now, if you had to rank the watermelons on a scale from A to B to C to D, or, even double D, just, oh my God.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my God, this chat. Jesse also likes eggplants, good.
But he is in fact back from, being off in a different kind of psychosis somewhere else, but he's in a new psychosis and back. And let's see his video returning.
Hello, I'm back. What's up? Long time no see.
So do you ever catch yourself reaching for something out of pure habit, whether you're stressed, bored, overworked, whatever the case may be? Yeah, same. And that's why I tried Fume, which is genius, and I'm never going back. Today's video is sponsored by Fume, and no, it is not a vape, it is not a nicotine product, and it is not trying to be. Fume is a natural, flavored air inhaler, and it's designed to help you replace habits, not feed them. No smoke, no vapor, no nicotine, just air infused with essential oils. So it has this really cool fidget-friendly design with magnetic parts, and it's super satisfying to use. And the flavors are actually amazing. My favorite personally is the spearmint ice, but there's a whole lineup to match your vibe, so don't worry. Over 500,000 people have already added Fume to their routine, and it's easy to see why. It's simple, it's effective, and it doesn't come with any of the baggage that other things like vaping or smoking do. So use my code BlaireWhite at tryfume.com/BlaireWhite, and you're gonna get a free Fume topper with your journey pack. This is your sign. Kick the habit gracefully. Try Fume. Thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring this episode of the podcast, and now on to the rest of the podcast.
The last time you saw me, I was talking about taking a break, and I did take a break. And now I'm back. But while I was gone, I did some reflecting on the way that I've been approaching things and figured something out. And that something is that I've been leading with anger. I kind of already knew that. Before. But
have you been leading with anger, or have you been leading with your dick? Have you been leading with perversion? Like, good to know you've done some reflection and came to absolutely no valid conclusions. I mean, damn. I don't think anybody thought you were like angry. I think they thought you were a pervert. Yeah, like the talking to kids thing on video. I think that was like the problem. So right off the bat, we're gaslighting, but okay.
That I've been leading with anger, and specifically that I don't want to lead with anger. I think it's a really easy trap to fall into, to let anger be the fuel, because there's a lot of anger to go around, especially being a trans person in this day and age. But I just don't want it anymore because it makes me unhappy. So it's easier said than done, but the goal is to lead with kindness.
And let's see if he lived up to that. Here's his very next video. How the hell? How is your first video back after getting canceled off the internet for being a creep in women's bathrooms, you filming in a woman's bathroom? He came to no conclusions about his own behavior, that it wasn't anger. Ain't nobody scared of you like that. It was you being a pervert in bathrooms. And the first thing you do is be like, let me film a stupid, valueless video that nobody asked for. In fact, people asked for you to not do that. You asked for the opposite. To go into a woman's bathroom and prove some kind of like I can be here. He. It just gives sneaky. You're not proving any point. And it's not even a Lilly Tino thing. Like, this is like a trans thing in general. It's a trans thing in general. What was that one cringe video? They had like the people with Down syndrome who were also... I'm not trying to be mean. The British people with Down syndrome who are also trans in the women's bathroom. Learning no lessons immediately, but let's go on to the very next video. And maybe he gets it together at this point.
Remember the time in middle school when you thought that you were gay or you felt gay, you told every single person in your class that you were gay, but then realized that you actually don't like boys, but you still felt gay. Yeah. And you know how you always feel like if you wore a bra under your clothes, you might feel really good? And how every day you wake up or...
No. Actually, no, no. Who is this for? First of all, it's always taking it back to some kid stuff no matter what. Remember when you were in middle school? Barely. And no, I didn't feel good by putting on bras in middle school. Like, what are we talking about? I feel like people like this think that their perversion is so much more universal than it really is. Remember you were in middle school and you realized that you weren't gay, but you liked women? No. And this is the whole, like, ain't nobody ever want to assess their trauma. Ain't nobody ever want to look back at their life and be like, why did I feel this way? And by the way, that's a really big key to all these detransitioners and all these people who are now coming to regret the trans stuff. I feel like a lot of them never unpacked, and they say this, I've interviewed a lot of them, they never unpack why they felt that way at that age and at that time, right? A lot of them realize that they never actually truly assessed it until later in life, until after the transition. What does that thing's shirt say? Protect the clocky dolls. Anyways, you know what I mean? I feel like nobody ever questions why they did or feel the way that they feel. Because a lot of that stuff is painful. So, no, you know, who knows? But do you wonder sometimes if something may have happened to you? Because what you're describing is definitely a fetish. You're not describing even, like, here's the thing. I felt feminine as a child. I was always naturally feminine. And many trans people did feel that way when they were younger. And so do gay people, etc. But for you to be like, I didn't like boys, but I liked wearing women's bras under my clothes. That is some early cross-dressing. That is some, like, something ain't clean in the water. That is like something happened to you you're not addressing. I think maybe you should question, did something happen? I feel like that's important. I feel like we tend to block things out from our childhoods, and sometimes for very good reason. But this AGP thing, which is not even indicative of, I don't think I've ever even met, I'm trying to think, have I ever met an AGP ass bitch? Every trans woman I've ever met has never been into women like that. And I'm not trying to say that that's like I'm not trying to say that all trans women who like women are pervs, but, like, I don't know. Not all pit bulls bite. But it might be healthy to assume that one may, right? Like, it might be healthy to assume this bitch needs to get off the internet. I don't understand. For me, on my TikTok account, which, follow me on TikTok, I have 2 TikToks, one for this podcast, one for just me. I be getting warnings every other day on there for saying nothing. But this troglodyte can go in a women's bathroom talking about and nothing. And nothing. Thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring this episode of the Blaire White Project podcast. Make sure you guys follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok, all the things, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.